Hey again. Um, the background gameplay this time is from Destiny 2, which I know is a very dead game. Uh, some bad things going on right now around Bungie and things like that, but of course this channel isn't for that. But I've been a big fan of Destiny for pretty much the entire time that it's been a thing, since 2015. It's a game that's been with me for like most of my life, so uh, even though it sucks right now, and it's not really certain where it's going to go, I still love it. And so this is just some background gameplay from me doing some stuff in it earlier today. So I thought that'd be the background gameplay for today's video. But anyway, today, as you saw by the title, I'm going to talk about forgiveness. And in relation to recent events, which I know all my videos so far have been because of this recent relationship thing that I've had, recent breakup. And today there was an interesting development. Of course, the first few days past it happening, I turned inward. It still hurt, but I turned toward myself, and I want to prove myself. I want to prove to myself that even though this was a person that I was with since the beginning of the school year, that it was that I can do these things on my own. And I mean, just today I was able to retake a test that I had failed, and now both my grade in that class and my GPA overall is back to a much more comfortable spot. And I did that completely on my own. I worked for it. I met with the tutor, and so I'm in a spot with the result of that relationship where I very much want to continue to do this self-improvement path. And that person, I forgive them, and I've moved on from a lot of the things from it. But of course, I'm not eager to just go back to them, or I don't feel ready for that yet. And the reason why I say that is because today they texted me, and because pretty much I don't want to get into too much of a detail, because if they ever see this, I don't know if they would be offended by me speaking on this online. And if you do see this, I don't hate you, and maybe by the time that you do hate, or that you do see this, maybe we're friends. But anyway, so they reached out, and they apologized for a few things and said that they wanted to try to be friends. And that's what I had offered them at the time of the when I was unsure if it was going to be a full break or if we were going to continue, try to be friends. And I'd offered to be friends because I felt that would be a much more comfortable place, because I still care about them, and I want to be there to support them, and I can continue to do those things just as a friend. And but at the time they made it clear that that's not what they wanted. They wanted to cut off, and that hurt me for sure. It was disappointing, but I said, okay, well, if that's gonna happen, if that's what would be best for you, then that's okay. That was an option that I was considering too, but definitely not the option that I first went to. I definitely went to wanting to try to be friends first. And so today they reached out to me and apologized for the things that they had said, and said that they do want to be friends, but that they would understand if at this point I don't. And my reply was pretty short and simple, and well, not that short, but very straight to the point. I said that I forgive them, and that I want to continue to be there for myself, and that maybe down the line we can be friends, but as of right now, I need space, and I need time, which is all true. I can't definitively define how I feel right now in regards to this person. I know it's something bad. I don't hate them. I don't harbor any ill will towards them, and I want them to do good and know that they are good. But right now, I can't see myself being able to fulfill the role of a friend, just because of how raw and recent the wounds and emotions are. And so that's why I've been thinking about this. And of course, this is a very personal example for me, so it's not really something that would be entirely relatable to most people watching this probably, but I do want to try to be their friend at some point, but I'm not sure when that point's going to be. And I know that it's like the blame isn't on me. It's an understandable thing, and so this is something where it comes down to forgiveness, and that if there is a point where I feel comfortable when all the feelings have passed and a time has passed where things have healed more, and I do want to be friends with them, can I look inside myself and see that I've fully forgiven them? And it's hard to say. It's really, well, it's easy to say. It's easy to say that I've forgiven them. It's easy to say I forgive you. But in the moment, the next time you see that person or are near that person, you might get upset, and those feelings might immediately resurface. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking on, is what does forgiveness look like for me? And is it only moving on from the emotions, or does there have to be something more? And I think the admittance of the guilt is when it becomes a lot easier to forgive, because they reached out to me, so which took a lot for them to do. I'm sure it's hard to admit when you're wrong and to sincerely apologize, and that definitely makes it easier to forgive when you can tell that the other person really has remorse for their actions. And it's harder to forgive before that point. And so before they reached out to me today, I would like to say I was mostly past things, which I think I was mostly past things, and I was going into a self-improvement, thing. And so I wouldn't say I had fully forgiven them prior to it, though. I think that there does need to be that last bit of like admittance of guilt or admittance of remorse for the action before the other person can kind of fully forgive, because nobody's perfect. And as much as I want to try to fully forgive them, or was trying to prior to that point, it's very hard to. And I think everybody deserves forgiveness, and that everybody deserves good, and everybody is good innately. But yeah, just something that I've been thinking on, and something I think more people need to think about is, what does forgiveness look like from me, and how would I like to be forgiven if I did something similar? And so trying to kind of put yourself into their shoes, and in this scenario, trying to do that, if I had done the things that they had done to them, how would I want them to forgive me? Because I would also be at a point where I would think, I want to be friends, but I understand if you don't want to. So I'm glad that they've come to that point, because I think that's similar to how I would have gotten to. But yeah, so it's a big decision, and it's an important one. It's deciding if I want to continue to have this person in my life in any capacity. And I really just can't say right now. So yeah, but that's about it. I didn't really have a whole lot of a script for this, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it just because that happened today. But yeah, leave me your thoughts on what you think of forgiveness, or maybe an experience that you've had with struggling to forgive somebody, or have that complete peace with it, especially if it's a very recent thing, like my case. So those are my thoughts for now, and I guess I'll continue to update on this scenario in the upcoming videos. But yeah, so that'll be it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.